Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to Loaded Baked Potato with Light. But no, really, we're back here on Crash Landing, and today we're going to take this setup that we made last time for keeping this charging station charged and extend it out into a Pneumaticcraft tree farm. It's just going to be a very simple tree farm. I'll expand it a bit later, and it's not necessarily the most efficient tree farm, but I think it should be at the very least entertaining. So we've got quite a few of the things that we're going to need in here. More Steve's Factory Manager, because, well, I love this mod. We're going to need an autonomous activator. We've got the drones. We've got a fancy thing over here. If you don't recognize the recipe, you will be delighted to see what that one is. But I just realized, oh, look at me. Leaving things laying around. I actually do have a sapling. That would have been embarrassing, setting up a tree farm without any trees. Sounds like something I would do. And we've got various building blocks for doing what we're gonna need to do. So first, let's go and do a little bit of building. We'll come back and do the crafting in a little bit. I very much don't want to be building at night, so let's get the building out of the way first. This is just chiseled cobblestone, so it's essentially free. So we'll use it as our scaffolding blocks. We're going to do something similar to what we have over there, but at the very least a little bit different. What we're going to do is use these slabs and work our way up using those. So we're going to put it on the side here. Now, I'm not 100% sure this is an adequate walkway. I haven't tested it yet, but I think it should work. And if you haven't seen these slabs with holes in them before, they're primarily for running conduit through, but I like the idea of a walkway that you can see through, if you couldn't tell from the other one. And to craft these, you just take 8 of them in a circle, in a 8 of the slabs in a circle in the crafting grid, and it'll make 8 of these things with holes in them. And if you want to change them back, you just put them in your crafting grid and it changes them right back. Okay, so keep moving like so. And then we can remove the cobblestone after the walkway is in place, and that we've tested that it isn't a death trap, because it very well might be. That's the trouble with invention. You don't know whether or not it's a death trap until you test it. Because you should be able to just run right up it. But sometimes you can't rely on supposed to be like you used to. And here we are. Now that we're at the top, we can start building the actual thing, which I think... Yeah, I'm gonna need some dirt. Yeah, I'm gonna use these cobblestone as decorative blocks. I might keep them as the ring, I might not. We'll see how it looks. We're also going to build a bit underneath this platform, like that one over there. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to build the outline now. Now, this Pneumaticcraft tree farm works using drones. Drones can be programmed, like I said in the previous episode, using those puzzle pieces. And the way I'm going to do it is with 3 different drones doing the 3 different tasks, such that once a tree grows, one will cut down the trunk, one will destroy the leaves, and the other one will pick up what's left. So we'll get the wood and the saplings from it, and apples if they're oak trees. If you wanted to, you could have just one drone do it, but the trouble with that is that the drone only has the one program and it runs it from beginning to end and beginning to end. So if you put chop down the trunk at the beginning, it'll chop down the trunk, and then the leaves will start to despawn, and then it'll chop down the leaves, and then, well, they'll break and they'll drop whatever. But then it'll try to pick up what dropped. Well, if another tree grows, it could very well try to cut down that tree before it manages to even bother picking up any of the stuff. So you could have the wood and saplings just laying on the ground for a long, long time. And here we are, a nice little grass place for us to grow our trees on. It doesn't necessarily need to be grass. I just like the way it looks. So we can take these out, and we should be able to just walk. Now, it is by no means safe, so I might want to add a handrail of some sort, because man, is that intimidating. But since they're slabs, you can just walk right up. No jumping or anything. I like it. Now, it looks real nice going down, but coming up it, that's a bit eerie. Oh, and if you're wondering how I got the grass block, I've got this Silk Touch pick. It'll pick up the grass block, no trouble. Okay, so we've got ourselves a little platform for it to go on. And then we can come back here and get some of the stuff that's necessary for it. We can put this stuff away. Now, let's set up the harvest and retrieval portion first. And an important part of that is this right here. If you haven't seen that recipe before, 1, 2, red bars and dispenser. That's an open blocks item cannon. Kaboom! And you need this pointer to point where it needs to go. Here's the recipe for that. White wool in a vaguely arrow looking shape. So now we can go back up there and set that system up. We don't have the autonomous activator. Need that and the sapling. Out of water. Okay. Ooh, vertigo, vertigo, vertigo. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. So we're gonna plant the tree right there in the middle. So we're gonna take our autonomous activator and point it towards the center. We're gonna take our inventory cable and put it behind that. And then we've got all sorts of things that need to go places. So we'll put the inventory manager here. We'll put the redstone emitter right here. We'll put the cannon on top of the redstone emitter. We've got chests. One of them will be for things that the drone collects. Actually, one will be for what the drone collects. The other one will be for what the cannon fires. So we've got 2 chests. So what we need and overflow. This hopper will go back over there, and the saplings will go in the autonomous activator. So in here, as always, we need a program. Trigger. This one we can actually slow down a bit. We don't need it trying every second to do what it needs to do. 5 is probably good. You can cut it down to 10 or 30, however you think it really needs to go. And what this is going to do is decide whether or not you've got overflow. Which makes me think we didn't actually want an autonomous activator here. Yeah, actually what we wanted was a block gate. Let's see what it takes to make one of those. Another dispenser, an iron pick, and an inventory cable. Well, I'm going to cut it here. I'll be back in a second once I've got myself a block gate. We're back. Got ourselves this block gate. The original plan I had for this used an autonomous activator, but I later discovered that the block gate does a better job of doing what it is that we want it to do. So we put the block gate facing in, and now we write the program. So this first trigger we do want on the 1 second interval. What it's going to do is come from, actually, yeah, it's going to come from one of these chests. I'm assuming it's 176. Yeah. So from 176, doesn't matter the direction, it's going to grab birch and output it to that block gate. Now it's not always going to do that, however. So we need a condition. When is it going to do that? Well, it's going to do that when there isn't anything there. So we don't want it to do it when there's a birch sapling or when there's birch wood. So not those two things, if any. Requires all would require both, and that's just weird. So it's going to look at where it's pointing, and if either of those are there, it's not going to do anything. If there is, it'll put them down. So let's test that out. And there it is. Awesome. Now that's not the only thing it needs to do, however. Then, this is the trigger that can be a little slower. I'd say every 5 seconds or so. It's going to take a look at that chest. The chest that we're pulling the birch from. So 176. And then if it has a certain number of birch saplings, so we specify the amount, I'm going to say 8, because you can't really expect it to go 8 trees without getting any saplings. However you want to detect it. 8 of those birch saplings. So if there are 8, then you pull from the chest. Now, how many do you want to pull? Well, that is the tricky part, where with the autonomous activator, it might be a little bit simpler. Choices. We might speed it up and have it just grab one at a time. Yeah. Let's have it just pull one at a time faster. This makes me think I redesigned it again. because the block gate does work. But the autonomous activator, you can store things in the activator itself. So it makes this part of the programming easier. So yeah, let's do the autonomous activator. It'll always right click. We'll use my standard input from the bottom, export from the top, so we know how to program it better. So this condition will be different. So if this guy, target, let's do up and down just in case it gets confused. We can, wrong button. We can remove this birchwood. Goodbye. Now we'll put the 8 in the autonomous activator itself. Okay, so if there's 8, do nothing. If there's less, if there's less than 8, then grab from here, grab 1. So then 1 per second, it'll add to the autonomous activator until it's at 8, and then it'll stop. And then the autonomous activator will sit there trying to plant it. Okay, so now we come over here, and we can do additional things, where actually, this is what happens if it has 8. Now I remember. Probably should have written this down. So, if there are 8 in the autonomous activator, then you take the overflow. So you take everything that's left in that chest. Everything. And move it to the other chest. Now this is the overflow chest. This is the one that's going to get shot out of the cannon. Boop. And a boop. We also have one additional thing that we want to do. When that happens, we want it to send a redstone pulse to the cannon, which tells it to fire. Now, we likely want it to do emit pulse. 10 ticks, that should be fine. And then the pulse should just pulse. So we've got ourselves an autonomous activator. We've got a chest. Let's grab a few more saplings. And we should put down our hopper. Now we need a collection point. I don't have a chest on me. I really should grab one of those. Because the cannon is going to fire it into the hopper. It has that much accuracy. There we go. I'm thinking here's a good place. Okay, let's go back down, grab ourselves some more saplings so it'll try to fire stuff. Okay, so we take our pointer, fairly certain it's shift right click. Yeah, you shift right click on the cannon to tell it I want to target the cannon somewhere. We come back down here, and then we're going to tell it where to fire. And then shift right click on the hopper. And then it does what it can. And then sometimes there just isn't a good parabolic trajectory for what you asked it to do. So at that point, you go, well, okay, a cannon's a cannon. We'll accommodate the cannon. And we move it somewhere that it's more likely to hit. let's do here. Apparently, the aiming is not an exact science. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain what its deal is, but this line should be accurate. So now we just need to get it to pass through this space above the hopper. We can come back here, toss in all of the birch saplings. It plants one. The others should now be in this chest or fired by the cannon. And there we go. Don't know if it made the shot, but there's an easy way to find out. And there they are. Perfect shot by a perfect little cannon. Now, unfortunately, this is still blinking. I believe there's a way to make that not do that. So basically, if we put in another condition, yeah, I don't care enough about it right now. If the blinking gets to me, I'll add another condition in here that'll make it stop blinking when there's nothing in this chest. But I really want to do the stuff with the drones. And I shortchanged you a little on the previous episode, so I might go a little long on this one. But we need to do a few of these things. So this will build us the drone. PCB and 4 rotors because it's a little quad rotor drone. While we're doing the other things, we can take it upstairs and have it charge a bit. I think we can... yeah, we should be able to charge it before we program it. So we'll put it in here. And it'll charge itself up. That's good. Power's doing all right. It hasn't exploded, so that's good. Now, for the actual programming, you need PCBs and different colors of plastic for the different operations. So you put the PCBs in the middle. The lime plastic from repulsion plants gets you start. You absolutely positively need start. You can't do anything without a start. The brown from the slime plant seeds gets you dig, 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 dig. Dig isn't particularly useful without area. This tells it where to dig. These burst plant seed plastics are helpful because it tells it what to dig. And then for one of the other drones, we're going to need the orange ones for exporting to inventories and the pink ones from potion plants to pick up the items. So those are the various puzzle pieces we'll need. We won't need these 2 in this episode. I'm only doing one of the drones, but we will need these others. So here's the program that I wrote at the very end of the previous episode. What it does is it picks an area, filters for a particular type of block, and then digs them. The minor problem with this is that you need to know exactly what it is you want it to do and have a way of telling it. So these GPS tools are that way of telling it. So we're going to have to go back up here such that we can use the GPS tool to locate where we want it to do things. That location is right over here and right over here. So we take the GPS tool and shift right click it on the block. You might be able to just left click, but I like the shift, particularly at these heights. Now you've got the 2 locations. However, one of them, doesn't matter which one, you need to send up into the sky a bit more. Boink. And then we can remove these blocks. Goodbye, blocks. these GPS tools, you can put, you assign the two of them to this area, but you don't necessarily need to keep them the way they are now after you've set the area. So you select the first one, and you select the second one. There are different area types, as you can see here. I'm going to use filled because I want a complete box. But you can have a line that passes through those 2 points. You can make different types of walls that go through those 2 points. The frame is just that. It doesn't have an interior. It doesn't have the sides. It's just the outline. Walls is hollow in the center, and sphere is, well, a sphere. You can hit show area and then go outside, and hey, look, it's showing us the area. Beautiful. And our tree has grown. Test subject. Let's have ourselves a potato. I know they're running a little low on nutritional value, but that's okay. Now, even if we change these GPS coordinates here, they will not change in this area. We've already told that area what it needs to be. Now for the filter, on the right-hand side, you've got the white list. On the left-hand side, you've got the black list. That also counts for areas. So if you want to dig anywhere but a particular place, you put it over here. So you could build a house over here, but avoid the door over here using the place piece. Digging, you could say, dig this entire area except for a staircase. Kind of neat. So this filter, if we had what we were looking for, we could search our inventory, but I want it to break the leaves. So in here, we need to say birch leaves. Unfortunately, each filter only does one item. I'm going to say don't use the metadata. I want it to be a nice fuzzy sort of selection. I suppose I could hit use or dictionary. Hey, look! Or dictionary, like wood, as the same. So yeah, let's use that or dictionary. That way, he'll cut down any leaves that he sees in this area. So start, dig that area with that filter. That's all he'll need to do. And for any type of tree that I put there, it'll still work. So let's go and get him and put him to work. He's at 5.7 bars. It's not quite full, but it should be good enough. He'll be able to get to where he's going and do what he needs to do. So you just put him up in this corner. It'll tell you what things you need, and it'll be green if you've got it, red if you don't, and then you hit program and it'll put it into your bot. Now the drone can also be deprogrammed. It should take the puzzle pieces back out. Well, that's not right. It's supposed to take the puzzle pieces back out so you could use it for something else. I might need to change the program for that to work, but who knows. Let's make it daytime again. Don't want anything shooting me or the drone. These drones do have hit points, so if you make a squadron of attack drones, you better expect for them to explode. Now, another reason, another thing that I accounted for that wasn't necessarily clear when I was building it, why I have this inventory cable, it's to get this cannon outside of where the leaves are. It doesn't fire through the leaves, it just fires it on that trajectory. So if there are leaves above it, it hits the leaves and the stuff falls down. So let's put down Mr. Rotocopter and do your job, Mr. Rotocopter. Why are you not doing your job, Mr. Rotocopter? Well, that's disappointing. I got my pneumatic wrench so I can pick him back up. He's got an item filter. He's got start, dig, and area. Everything was put in the way it was supposed to. There he goes. Not sure why he was confused. Well, he's working now. It takes a little bit of air pressure for him to break each thing. And then once he's run out, well, close to run out, he'll fly right back here and charge back up all on his own. Now remember, it's because of this dispenser upgrade. No dispenser upgrade, no refueling. And then once he's done doing what he does, we would have one of his friends picking up the loot. Unfortunately, this time there wasn't any loot. We'll also have one of his friends chopping down the trunk. Given the nature of this platform, I might make a vacuum hopper and put it either here or over there, such that it'll suck in most of the drops. Because, as you can see, it's a relatively small platform. I might extend it out a little for the additional drops to fall on a ledge. That's probably a good idea. I'll likely do that between episodes, put a little half slab ring around this, such that they can fall on something else. But that is my little Pneumaticcraft tree farm. It's not efficient in the least, but I'll make a couple more platforms, one with oak and one with spruce, such that you can have each of them working on any of the trees that grow, and that'll be able to pick things up and fire them into here. Pow. It's a nice little thing. Most of that, I have a feeling I'll do off camera. I've got a new project for the next time. I don't know if you'll like it, but I've always wanted to build it. And I'm not going to tell you what it is until I do. Suspense! Come on! You know you love suspense. But that is more than enough for this episode. I'm going to call it a day, and I will see you in the next episode of Crash Landing with Light.